Before you enter the body, forgive. I felt very uncomfortable when I tried to put my attention on the inner body. There was a feeling of agitation and some nausea. So I haven't been able to experience what you are talking about. What you felt was a lingering emotion that you're probably unaware of until you started putting some attention into the body. Unless you first give it some attention, the emotion will prevent you from gaining access to the inner body, which lies at a deeper level underneath it. Attention does not mean that you start thinking about it. It means to just observe the emotion, to feel it fully, and so to acknowledge and accept it as it is. Some emotions are easily identified: anger, fear, grief, and so on. Others may be further harder to label. They may just be vague feeling of unease, heaviness, or construction, halfway between an emotion and physical sensation. In any case, what matters is not whether you can attach a mental label to it, but whether you can bring the feeling of it into awareness of as much as possible. Attention is the key to transformation, and full attention also implies acceptance. Attention is like a beam of light, the focused power of your consciousness that transmutes everything into itself. In a fully functional organism, an emotion has a very short lifespan. It's like a momentary ripple or wave on the surface of your being. When you are not in your body, however, the emotion can survive inside you for days or weeks to join with other emotions of similar frequency and have merged and become the pain body, a parasite that live inside you for years, feed on your energy, lead physical illness, and make your life miserable. So please place your attention on feeling the emotion and check whether the mind is holding on to a grievance pattern such as blame, self-pity, or resentment that is feeding the emotion. If that is the case, it means that you haven't forgiven. Non-forgiveness is often toward another person or yourself, but it may just as well be toward as any situation or condition, the past, present, future, that your mind refuses to accept. Yes, there can be non-forgiveness even with regard to the future. This is mind's refusal to accept uncertainty, to accept that the future is ultimately beyond its control. Yes, there can be non-forgiveness even with regard to the future. This is the mind's refusal to accept uncertainty, to accept that the future is ultimately beyond its control. There can be non-forgiveness even with regard to the future. This is mind refusal to accept uncertainty, to accept that the future is ultimately beyond its control. Forgiveness is to relinquish your grievance and so to letting go of grief. It happens naturally once you realize that your grievance serves no purpose except to strengthen a false sense of self. Forgiveness is to offer no resistance to life, to allow life to live through you. The alternatives are pain and suffering, a greatly restricted flow of life energy, and in many cases, physical disease. The moment you truly forgive, you have reclaimed your power from the mind. Non-forgiveness is very nature of the mind, just as the mind made for self, the ego, cannot survive without strife and conflict. The mind cannot forgive, only you can. You become present, you enter your body, and you feel the vibrant place and stillness that emanate from being. That is why Jesus said, before you enter the temple, forgive. You link with the unmanifested. What is relationship between presence and the inner body? Presence is pure consciousness, consciousness that has been reclaimed from the mind, from the world of form. The inner body is your link with the unmanifested, and in its deepest aspect is the unmanifested, the source from which consciousness emanates as light emanates from the sun. Awareness of the inner body is conscious remembering its origin and returning to the source. Is the unmanifested the same as being? Yes. The word unmanifested attempts by way of negation to express that which cannot be spoken, thought, or imagined. It points to what it is by saying what it is not. Being, on the other hand, is positive term. Please don't get attached to either of these words or start believing in them. They are no more than signposts. You said the presence is consciousness that has been reclaimed from the mind. Who does the reclaiming? You do. But since in your essence you are consciousness, you might as well say that it is an awakening of consciousness from the dream of form. This does not mean that your own form will instantly vanish in an explosion of light. You can continue in your present form, yet be aware of the formless and deathless deep within you. I must admit that it's way beyond my comprehension, and yet, on some deeper level, I seem to know what you are talking about. It's more like a feeling than anything else. Am I deceiving myself? No, you're not. A feeling will get you closer to the truth of who you are than thinking. I can tell you anything that deep within you don't already know. I cannot tell you anything that deep within you don't already know. When you have reached a certain stage of inner connectedness, you recognize the truth when you hear it. If you haven't reached this stage yet, the practice of body awareness will bring about the deepening that is necessary, slowing down the aging process. In the meantime, awareness of inner body has other benefits in the physical realm. One of them is a signpost slowing down of the aging of the physical body, whereas the outer body normally appears to grow and old and wither fairly quickly. The inner body does not change with time, except that you may feel it more deeply and become it more fully. If you are 20 years old now, the energy felt in your body will feel just the same when you are 80. It'll be just as vibrantly alive. As soon as you habitually state as changing from being out of the body and trapped in your mind to being in the body and present in the now, your physical body will feel lighter, clearer, more alive. As there is more consciousness in your body, its molecular structure actually becomes less dense. More consciousness means a lessening of illusion of materiality. More conscious means a lessening of the illusion of materiality. More consciousness means lessening of the illusion of materiality. When you become identified more with the timeless inner body than with the outer body, when presence becomes your forward model of consciousness and past and future no longer dominates your attention, you do not accumulate time anymore in your physique and in the cell of the body.